Hey, in this video, I'm going to talk about how to build a great landing page. So over here, we have a question from Welter. What would you change on farcasterstudio.com homepage user page looking for feedback? So firstly, great way to grow your app. You can see here, it got 42 replies, 50 likes. So even if he doesn't care at all about what the feedback is, it's a great way for people to start paying attention to his app. So let's go to Farcaster Studio. For those that don't know, Farcaster is a social platform, decentralized, like Twitter basically, but more for the crypto crowd. Anyway, if we go here, we can see what it is. There's not that much happening on the landing page. I think the design of it is actually quite good. I like design-wise, I really like a lot of it in like terms of basic UI elements. But in terms of copy and like actually getting me to engage and go further, I think it could be improved a fair amount. So let's take a look at what we see. Search any Farcaster users channels. So this is the first thing I see when I get here. And I'm just thinking like, why do I need this? If I want to search Farcaster channels or users, I could just go to the Farcaster app, hit explore, search up here, and I can search what I need. So immediately, it's not bringing me any value, doesn't really interest me, and I sort of just want to disappear. Then I see browse profiles. Okay, I do recognize a bunch of these names because I'm somewhat active on Farcaster, but also it's like, well, okay, like I don't really click when I see these names down the sidebar. Why would I click over here? And browse channels, again, I can go to the channels in Farcaster. So I have no idea what that add value actually is. I could go and click, obviously, and then maybe I'll learn a little bit more. But, you know, ideally, you don't want to force someone to click to figure something out. And, you know, before I even click, I'm probably just going to bounce rather than actually click to see what's inside. Once we get to the bottom, we start to learn a bit more. Maximize your engagement, discover how our tools can help you. Okay, this is good. You're actually telling me how you can help me. Potentially, I'd want to know that up here. But then actually, once I go down into how you can help me, I see followers. So it's like, okay, you've given me search functionality and follower functionality. Another item which is like doable on any social app here, I can go to followers. Okay, yes, 57,000 followers. And interesting, but like, why does that matter to me? Cost, heat map, okay, unfollowers. So now that starts to be a little bit interesting because I don't know how else I would find unfollowers and so on. I start to see some stats, but these are already all the way at the end. Also, if I look here, if I look at followers, users, and channels, so I do see a bit more information. See how many followers you've gained in the last 30 or 7-day period. That's cool. So that's starting to give me some value. I'm actually curious. I don't know how many followers I've grown in that time. But all of this is like hidden away from me. And so what I would look to change here is really put the core value prop that you're giving your users at the top over here. And I will say two things here. People struggle with copy, but the two tips I would give you are either like just tell people what you actually do. So this is a Farcaster analytics app, or this is like Farcaster Pro, like the equivalent of Twitter Pro, or whatever it is. Just like tell me what it is, and then I'll be able to like figure out, okay, if that is valuable to me or not, if I need that tool or not, or tell me the actual value you're giving me. So for example, grow your Farcaster following by 100x in the next 3 weeks or so. So that would be like something actionable I can get from this, and that would also be a benefit. Like if I can grow my Farcaster following, well, great, I want to use this app. But right now it doesn't go and do any of this. But either way, let's go and dive in a bit further. Who should we choose? Let's say David. Page loads up. He's hiring devs. 100,000 followers. It's grown. Okay. I mean, again, the page looks pretty. It's cool about how his followers have grown, but like this is more like user feedback. I actually don't care that much like about David. If this was my followers, well, maybe I would care. I can connect Farcaster, although I'm not going to do that right now. But that's another thing that you potentially want to do. Have the call to action right at the top, not be search, because I'm not going to start searching someone. But, you know, find your stats. Like, I mean, it could just be a copy change, or it could be like the connect to Farcaster button here as the main call to action, rather than me looking at Greg and David and so on. So let's click on Ted. I guess David's disappeared for now. And again, we see her stats. We see her cost map and so on, who her popular followers are. Okay. We can start to see daily stats over here. Small thing, this is too small for me. I would want it zoomed in a little bit, and this is for every tab as well. Streaks, okay, it loads up in a second, but yeah. So this is, I guess, somewhat minor, but also it's like it's just a bit empty. And I'm also wondering if, again, these tabs are hidden away. So I've already had to do like one click to get to Ted's page, and then another click to get to these other features that might bring me value. So I'd be asking myself, what are the features that bring the absolute most value? There are Twitter apps. If I look for on Facebook or Twitter, find the people that have unfriended me and then do that Google search, there are loads of people looking for those sorts of apps. So even just the Farcaster Studio Unfollower app could be a product in and of itself. You could, if the entire product was just focused on this, you'd probably get some amount of users as well. I mean, the challenge with Farcaster is just it's a pretty small community overall. But let's say this was a Twitter app, then yeah, this in itself could be a core feature that you'd want to display right on the homepage as something important. And yeah, I know it's over here. We saw it a bit on the homepage, but it's a bit hidden away. Now, I'm going to show you a few different websites that can help you craft better landing pages. So one classic resource is by Julian Shapiro. Just Google landing pages Julian and you'll find it at the top of Google. I'm going to quickly scan through this site, but this is what a standard landing page would look like. Nav bar at the top, hero section, some social proof, a few call to action buttons, so the button you actually want the user to click, some features, CTA, and then footer again at the bottom. I mean, this is quite a different landing page. So you can also do okay with landing pages like this. This is a bit more product oriented, which, there's no right or wrong here. So I'm not saying this landing page has to completely change into this format, but there are definitely most landing pages you'll come across. And for you, if you're building your own landing page, probably should be in this format. But either way, there are still ideas you can take from this article that would still apply to a landing page like this. So let's take a look. Element hero. This is sort of the most important part of the landing page, I would say. And, well, let's try and do this quickly. The header must be fully descriptive of what you're selling, because if the visitor doesn't understand precisely what you do immediately upon landing, they'll bounce out of laziness or skim read the rest of the page and risk getting the wrong impression. Here's the litmus test for whether your header is sufficiently descriptive. If the visitor reads only this text on your page, will they know exactly what you sell? So that's a good question to be asking yourself. For a website design tool, visually design and develop sites from scratch, no coding, and so on. He gives more examples. Here are some good examples to compare different a bad version and good version. A bad one, your all-in-one visual communication solution. Doesn't really tell me anything. Super generic. Okay, great. No idea what this is. But I can imagine there are 1,000 landing pages that have copies somewhat like this. Just too generic. And then here it's create beautiful presentations, brochures, and posters for free. So cool. I mean, I know what it actually does for me. It helps me create presentations, and it's free, which is another benefit. And it's beautiful, so it's very clear what this is doing. I mean, assuming it's funny that this is even the same product, but I guess in this example it is the same product. But this obviously is much clearer. Okay, it's for presentations and posters. Maybe it's a Canva type app. Rather than visual communication solution, it just doesn't mean anything. Another one, modern solutions, rapid growth. Again, okay, cool. This is such a marketing gimmick. So many marketers and non-marketers seem to think that this is good. It's awful. But a better one, let's see, get your property in front of thousands of renters, no ads. I mean, that's awesome. If I'm trying to rent out my property, that is what I want. And so on. You can keep looking at, the different examples and his process. There's a lot more in this page, a lot more than I'm going to cover in this video. But here you can see this is you want to find the value prop. Here are some bad alternatives. So let's say Airbnb, this is a better solution, stay in locals' homes, and then the action statement. But yeah, I'm not going to cover this page even more. I've read it a few times in the past, and I recommend you go and take a look as well. And yeah, the most important things for landing pages, just figure out the copy. The exact design isn't so important. And in terms of the copy, the most important copy is what's at the head of the page, the hero, and then it just goes down in importance as you go further down. Social proof, by the way, also super important. So we'll see that on some of our other landing pages. Another site I love, marketingexamples.com by Harry. I've forgotten his full name. But here you can see lots of different articles. I've clicked on landing page and his step-by-step guide to landing pages to convert. By the way, I see here he's quoting Donald Miller. That he's got an excellent book as well. The Art of Story Writing. Building a Story Brand. That's the one I'm thinking of. Really liked it. Definitely worth a read. He's got a whole bunch of other stuff as well that I've heard is quite good. But yeah, here you can see what he does for the structure. Explain the value you provide. Explain how you'll create it, the subtitle, let the user visualize it. So here's the visual on the side, make it believable, social proof. Here are all these people that love it, and the CTA, taking the next step easy, get started for just $1. And so here you see the example, ace the SAT with just 10 minutes of studying a day. And yeah, like if I was studying for the SAT, that sounds compelling and I would want to do it rather than, like you could also just say what you're doing, like your SAT study guide, which is like, it's okay. Like it tells people what you're doing, but it's like, this gives me an actionable way to actually go and do it. And it sounds like a lot more attainable. Okay, 10 minutes a day, that's awesome. It's only $1. So that's something I actually want to go and purchase. And there's a whole lot more on copywriting here. I also recommend his newsletter. It's worth the look. So let's take a look at some landing pages in the wild. I've just chosen these randomly, but I think some of these do a decent job. Here you can see the guide to advertising your SaaS and software on Facebook. So this will help me sell better Facebook ads. That's great. If I'm running Facebook ads, this is what I want. That could be a great stream of revenue for me. It's going to help my business a lot. And this is the guide to it. So it's not too fancy or complex. It's just like, this is the guide for SaaS. I'm building a SaaS, great, and advertising on Facebook. It's not too clever. It just tells me clearly what it does for me. And the value to it is also clear. I want to be better at marketing, and advertising is what is going to help me do that. Don't just build apps, get users fast. Okay, that's important. And order the guide, and you can read everything else on the page. Here you see the social proof, super important. Here you see the discount. Here you can see also above the fold is just like a ton of information here. Here you can see Mark, the founder of FastShip. We're going to look at his landing page in a second, but he added an extra $14,600. So a very specific number. That's how much he actually made. And here I can see converting $250 invested in ads to $1,000. I want that. Give me this guide. And so I keep going down here. Danny Postma, another, like both of these people are fairly big in the indie hacker community. Both of them probably have 100,000 followers on Twitter. So that adds a ton of legitimacy that both of them are vouching for Nico. What you'll learn, telling me what I'm going to get from it. Great. You can see Dan from MakerBox. Here you see Nico. He's given a personal note here. I don't think you need to do this, but every landing page is a bit different, and I like this touch here. And one of the things I noticed when reading before, he says, I'm definitely not the number one marketer out there. I'm just sharing what is working for me and my friends. So I wouldn't say you need to be humble and like undersell yourself in many cases, but here I just felt like it worked pretty well. You can see he sold like $1 million in profitable ads. He's like telling you why you should, buy his course. He's done it for his own product as well. He's not just wasting other people's money, or not using other people's money, but he's even built the product himself. He's done it, and this is 7 years of knowledge, and then a bit of humbleness at the end that, he's not the biggest pro in the world, but, order the guide, you'll get good value, and so on. Also here, he does something nice. Another founder from Twitter, another testimonial. So the page is spread out with like every section has another testimonial, like a really nice trick there. And then, now he goes against those misconceptions that you might have about ads. So for example, Facebook ads don't work for SaaS and softwares. That might be your question. That's when you don't want to buy the course. Wrong. It does. All SaaS companies do it because it's profitable. You need thousands of dollars to run ads. No, you can start from $5 a day. You need a proven product to run ads. Well, here I think you do somewhat, but you need a good product. But anyway, let's see what he says. Ads only just amplify your reach. Like every marketing channel, it will be way easier and cheaper if you already have a proven product, but it can be used to test new ideas. So that's a good point. Like, yeah, maybe your product hasn't made it yet, but maybe that you'll discover the right thing to get there, like via Facebook ads. Or maybe your product is good enough and you just haven't been able to get the reach, but with Facebook ads you can get. Anyway, limited offer, $100, I don't know if I've sold it to you or not. But either way, this is like pretty compelling, like throughout the story that I'm being told. And by the end, I'm like, okay, cool. It's only $100 and it's 50% off. So take what you want from that. This is another one of Nico's apps. It's making around $7,000 a month last I saw. Here you can see, again, the product on the right, get TalkNotes, the action, the call to action. Here you can see 10,000 happy users, 5 stars. And well, I guess the most product there on Product Hunt as well, great. And then turn messy thoughts into actionable notes. So this is what it actually does. And, it's an AI voice note app. So it tells me pretty clearly. And, up to you if you're going to go use it. But, a good number of people are using it, and it uses lots of different languages. So anyone that lands on the page like, wow, Spanish, French, yeah, that's good for me if they're in that target audience. One thing I don't like, I actually told the founder this a few months ago, but Medium for social proof indie hackers, to me, this is ridiculous. Like, this isn't social proof. Anyone can write an article on Medium or indie hackers, and I think in his case someone else wrote the article, but like, so what? Those don't mean anything. So this, I think, is like, this to me is negative social proof, but at the end of the day, 99% of people aren't going to pay attention to it. And given everything else that's on the page, that's what's going to be more important. Here you can see sort of the product, how it works, and so on, and like how you use it. And anyway, that's the TalkNotes app. And here again, you've got the FAQ at the bottom, and we've got the pricing: $70 EL, $12 a month. ShipFast. This is a product that's done incredibly well. Surprisingly, I would say. I think even the founder was surprised how well it did. But it sold 4,000 customers for how much is it? It's like a few $100s. This product. It's a boilerplate, $170 to $200. And he's made hundreds of thousands of dollars from the product. Surprisingly, actually, it was number 2 product of the day on Product Hunt, so it didn't even come first, but it's still done incredibly well. And the reason I'm surprised here is because this guy was number 1 Product Hunter of the year. He's launched a ton of stuff on Product Hunt, so I would have thought his best product would have been first on Product Hunt. But anyway, Product Hunt is a vanity metric, so that doesn't actually matter, but that's just why I'm surprised it wasn't Product of the Day. Ship your startup in days, not weeks. So that's great. That's the value I want to. That's the value prop. Get ship fast. It's got the social proof again, all the same patterns here. You can see like what it's got inside it. It's the graphic that shows it's Next.js, Tailwind, MongoDB, and so on. And great. And yeah, go analyze landing pages like this. Here you can see, hey, I'm Mark. I've created a lot of great products, or I've created a lot of products, I guess, and you should go and use my boilerplate. Oh, here you see something. There's a whole bunch of sites that help you with this. Forgetting the names right now, but anyway, here you've got lots of videos of users that liked it, and this is more social proof and convincing people to sign up. Inbox Zero. This is my website, so yeah, judge it how you want. Having everything I've said so far, I'm not the greatest expert in the world, so now you can judge if you like my page or not. The end result is there are thousands of people that have signed up organically to the website, so I guess that's some measure of success. I think around 7,000 people have used the platform. Here you see the social proof, simple call to action. Here you see the main copy again, number 1 on Product Hunt, and stop wasting half your day in Gmail. Now, I'm actually not sure what the best copy is for this, because this is quite a bit generic. It does tell you the value you're going to get from it, and a marketer suggested this line for me that has actually done very well in his own businesses, and I decided to go for it. In the past, the line was clean up your inbox in minutes, and I've experimented, and that one did fine, by the way. It converted well. I'm actually not sure which one's converting better. I might run an A/B test to see between the two of them. And then I had other ideas like automate your inbox and so on. And so there's a lot of experimentation here. And then here you see in sort of the subtitle what it actually does. It automate your email with AI, bulk code and subscribe and so on, and block cold emails. And it's all open source. There's a video. Here's the testimonial section for me, countering if you're worried about privacy. So I tell you it's approved by Google. It's also open source and so on. And then here it goes into different features. This landing page is mostly based off of Tailwind UI, if you're wondering, by the way. And yeah, here you see the pricing section and FAQ. And again, call to action and some links in the footer that can help people and might help my SEO. Here's another landing page. I actually didn't love this at all. Oh, this is really interesting because I gave this guy feedback and he's actually gone and listened to it, which I think is pretty good, because I can't even remember what the bad copy was before, but now it's high quality blog at a fraction of the cost. I actually think the English reads a bit funny here, so high quality blog posts might be better, but here I actually understand what he's doing. And before, so I'm going to find what he did before. So what he had before was rank higher and faster on search engines. And that's just so generic. What are you actually getting? I don't know what this is. Even if I would want to use a product, yeah, great. But it didn't explain to me on the page. And so here I understand what I'm actually getting from it. Now, this might not be the best copy either, but you can play with things. And I think at least this is more clear to me, just what he actually does, rather than before. It's rank high in SEO, but how. Anyway, there's more you can see on this page. There were quite a few things I wanted to see done better on this page, but I think it's moving in the right direction. I'm going to end the video off with, there's so many sites out there. I might have to find a few more. I might link them in the description. But here you can see lots of landing pages. This is more for design, landingfolio.com. So if you want tips for design, here you see TalkNotes and a whole bunch of others, Rewind. But you can look at copy different pages are using. And I would also ask yourself, when you look at the copy, does that sell you or not? Is this something you would want to buy if you're in the target audience? Here, create an online form in minutes. So it's very clear what it does. It's quick. Automate your freelance project payments routine. I don't know what's involved in a routine, and I'm someone that is in the target audience. Maybe I have to read the rest of the page. But there, it's okay. Built for freelancers by freelancers, but each page you've got to analyze yourself what it's doing well, what it isn't doing well. Okay, here we say intro freelancing, get paid fairly and on time. Oh, sorry, into freelancing. So you can see they actually went and made an update since that screenshot. And so this is more clear what it does. So if you're a freelancer, that's a real problem. I don't get paid on time. Clients are delaying for 3 months. So it would be interesting for me to know how this app solves the problem, and now I want to keep reading. And yeah, the design for this page is quite pretty and nice. I really like a lot of what's going on here, at least visually, without having actually read this page or ever been to this website before. So that's the end of the video. I'm going to leave you with one bonus tip. There are so many starter templates online for good landing pages. So this is Tailwind UI. It's been very popular over the last few years. And let's take a look at some of their templates. There are so many ways to do this, by the way, but here you can see, let's say, Salient. This is actually a landing page I built one of my products off of a few years ago. But you can see it, in terms of the actual, in terms of copy and how it should work, it's set up very well. Let's do live preview. Here you see the hero, the subtitle, call to actions, CTA, the features, and so on. So everything you need, and you can decide if this is a design you want. Sometimes when they come from a site like Tailwind UI, they're overused. I've seen quite a few SaaS products using this landing page over the years. So sometimes it can be overdone. But either way, this is a very good way to get started. And realistically, most people are just not going to know that your landing page looks like someone else's. And if you change the colors a bit or put something in the background, it's going to start to look quite different, and people won't notice that it's actually based off a template. The other option is things like Framer, Webflow, Wix. So yeah, here you can see these look very attractive, at least. And so all you have to do is go and update the copy. If you don't want to be writing code, then this is a good solution. If you don't mind writing code, then something like Tailwind UI is a good solution. Lexington themes is another one. I think this uses Astro, so I haven't actually used it because of that, but they will help you more with the visual side of things, and then you just have to update your copy and the images for these landing pages. Beware, if the landing pages are too heavily based on images, then it might not work great for you, because if you then have to replace the images, you might not be able to get the right images to make it work right. That's something to keep in mind. But you can use AI generated images sometimes. Maybe that will help you, but it's still a challenge. And then another one is Cruip. Beautiful Tailwind CSS templates for your next project. Uses Next.js View, whatever you want. And so here, sort of another whole list. You see some admin stuff, but yeah, this can take you quite a long way. I don't love to get these full templates when you're actually building the product itself. It can be a bit too much, but when you're just building the landing page, then it can be good, because often the landing page is sort of quite separate from the rest of the product. When I'm building the product itself, I usually want more control over the individual components. And because I want more control, I'll use something like Shadcn, where I can actually copy and paste in the part I need. So if I need the card, I'll just copy this in. By the way, V0 is another great tool you should check out, but it's an AI that will generate components for you as well. So actually ending this video, but let's see what it does. Create a landing page for me for a social app like Twitter. Let's see what it does. So it's creating this for me, and it's pretty solid. Here you can see it's typing it out bit by bit. It's sort of fun to see. Download for iOS, download for Android, and I think it's coming to an end, this page. And then this is another variant. You can put your own image there. All of these templates would likely work for you. I don't use V0 a whole bunch. I think it's slightly too simple what it will do for stuff and things like this. But it's a useful tool, and it's also a good tool for brainstorming. Here you have the main structure of the page, and you can put in your copy and then work off of that. And with V0 specifically, you can also tell it to you can adjust the. You can go to a V1 and a V2. Wait, where do I do that? Oh, sorry, it's here. It's just because the recording's in the way. But yeah, you can ask it, hey, make this change, and so on. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any great resources you'd like to share with others, and anything maybe you think I got wrong in the video or could be done better. I'm always looking to learn and improve my own landing pages. I'm always iterating on this stuff myself. So I definitely don't take this feedback as I've got the answers to everything. My core competencies are more on the dev side. I've done a whole bunch of stuff in other spaces as well. Landing page is something that interests me, so I figured I'd do a video and help others out with it. But yeah, let me know what you think.